evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Mwangi, and tonight I'll be your host. But before we proceed, I would like to request you all to stand up for Kenya's national anthem. On behalf of Fashion for Fighters Foundation, I'd like to welcome you all to this event, the very first time happening in Africa, right here in Nairobi, Kenya. This year's event is dubbed Fashion for Shujaa, and it has three main objectives. One, to support our seriously wounded, ill, and critically injured military personnel in country. Two, to fill in the gaps and provide services currently not provided by government and other community avenues. And three, to raise awareness on the issues faced by military populations and their families through fashion. Therefore, I beseech you all to open your hearts, your purses and wallets and support our cause. Let's see how our troops are supporting us.
About 2:30 p.m. this afternoon, we were driving along Riverside Drive when we started to hear gunfire coming from the direction of the Dusit Hotel and the Nairobi University hostels.
Msaidie uchali, at least mpeleke hospitalini please, amepigwa risasi.
Gunfire still being going, as you can see behind
me. The two vehicles that you're seeing burning behind me were the first ones to have been hit. They're right adjacent to the barrier at Dusit Hotel.
What we believe happened from eyewitness accounts is that
wamekaa hapo kama 20-30 wakaingia. Immediately wameingia tu hivi. Boom. Imeanza na kitu kama bomu.
67 people died, but the members of one American family have a brave Kenyan to thank for their survival. 4-year-old Portia Walton toured him.
We kept asking her to run, and she started running. And I thought that was very, very brave of the little girl.
That's why Al-Shabaab viewed the Westgate shopping mall in Nairobi, Kenya as a PR victory. These terrifying images from the attack show Al-Shabaab fighters casually walking through the mall as they shoot civilians.
I'm okay, but I'm right in the middle of things. That's good. The window has been shut.
You've done all you can do, and you can't cope. I will dry your eyes. I will fight your.
Some Western analysts believe Al-Shabaab is in decline, but the group say the Westgate attack proves how strong they remain. These men are determined to crush the Western-backed Somali government in Mogadishu. The weak government is propped up by African Union troops, including Kenyan forces, who invaded southern Somalia 2 years ago.
It was one of the deadliest encounters that Kenyan soldiers have come across since they entered Somalia 11 months ago. KDF and TFG soldiers attacked Al-Shabaab's bases in Middletown, Stronghold.
I take this opportunity to invite the founder and president of Fashion for Fighters Foundation, retired General of the US Navy, Chris Decker, to give us an in-depth background of what Fashion for Fighters is all about.
Welcome to Fashion for Fighters Worldwide. Since 2015, Fashion for Fighters has been supporting wounded, ill, and injured service members as they moved into the civilian world. Our support includes medical, non-medical, and other support services required by the recovery. Fashion for Fighters has provided support for former and current service members and their families where the military or other national government offerings fall short. Similarly, Fashion for Fighters Kenya seeks awareness to veteran issues while filling support gaps by linking fashion to our most pressing veteran and family needs. So why Fashion for Fighters in Kenya, you might ask? The United States has a long history of supporting our security partners around the world for all their military needs. In recent years, the U.S. has expanded to include providing medical support for our partners, including Kenya. Since the 2000s, and from our experiences in Central Asia, the U.S. has been a leader in nonprofit support for the wounded, ill, and injured. As free and democratic peoples like Kenya focus on those who serve faithfully, Fashion for Fighters Kenya is committed to raising veteran awareness through fashion and the needs of Kenya's wounded, ill, and injured.
Thank you, retired General Chris Decker. In Swahili, a general is called Afande. So thank you, Afande Chris. And I wish to ask everyone to give a round of applause to our general. Meanwhile, continue to engage us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fashion for Fighters. Let's keep the conversation going. She's been working tirelessly to organize this glamorous event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause as I welcome Esther Ngoiri, Executive Fashion for Fighters Director, Kenya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Esther Ngoiri Wamboi, and I would like to thank you for coming to this event. And also would like to thank Mark Mwangi for giving me this opportunity to introduce what Fashion for Fighters is and what we normally do across the world. Fashion for Fighters is an organization that was started back in the USA by our president, Mr. Chris Decker. So what Fashion for Fighters does is to raise awareness and raise funds for the wounded ill veterans and their caregivers. When we brought Fashion for Fighters Kenya, our main aim was to raise funds for the wounded soldiers who go out there to the field and support us and give an extra hand to whatever the government cannot give them. The government of Kenya has been doing their mandate to help them out. However, the support is not enough, and that's why we're gathered here as a community so that we can give them the support that they need. Thank you. Please donate to our cause. You can donate through PayPal, M-Pesa, or bank. The details are on the screen.
Thank you, Esther. I would like to give a special shout out to Konza Technopolis, Planet Management Group, Citizen TV, and Hot 96, who are our main sponsors for this event, for their generous support. You guys are our Shujaas. Please continue donating to our cause so that we can support our troops who've made great sacrifices for this country. See the details below. Right next, I would like to invite a man who is a hero in every sense of the word, having led a team of Kenyan Special Forces in dismantling insurgents' installations in enemy territory and catching 5 bullets on his side. And now, he's dedicated his life in making sure the welfare of Kenyan soldiers is taken care of. Please help me welcome Major Suba, who's the Goodwill Ambassador for people living with disability at the DoD. Major Suba, please come on stage. Thank you for your service.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Major Suba, Goodwill Ambassador for persons living with disability in Kenya Defense Forces, and I'd like to share with you my story and my journey up to where I am. Well, I got injured back in 2012. I was shot by the insurgency, later received treatment at the Defense Forces Memorial Hospital, and after healing and physiotherapy sessions, I developed a disability. Basically, my right leg became shorter than the left. I had to adapt to live with crutches, and through that, it really inspired me to look at life from a different angle. Having a background in special forces, I never imagined that one day I would be using crutches. But here I am, and therefore the best is you need to look at life and look at a glass as half full instead of half empty. It is from that I developed interest to look at persons living with disabilities, and that is where I decided to look at the challenges that we face as serving persons living with disability. Basically, it's a variety, and I decided to be an inspirational to them. Having been an inspirational to them, I took a group of them, gave out several motivational speeches towards assisting them move to the next ladder like I did. Challenges that we face is one, accepting your current status, which is very important. The next step is trying to adapt to the society, people looking at you different from the way you are. And the third is you need to adapt to different working conditions with the same people whom you're working with. And it is from that really inspired me to ensure that all of them will face the same available opportunities. Through that, I decided to join various organizations. One of them is the Paralympic, and we decided to interact with persons living with disability. And through that is where we met LPSA, who are in partnership with Fashion for Fighters. Now, we've conducted various campaigns, I will call them, because they've been able to register persons who are living with disability, and especially those from the Defense Forces, and be able to facilitate and get their registration cards for persons with disabilities. Once they have that is where we form up and look which other opportunities can we look at to try and empower and make them be at a better place. And therefore, that is the various opportunities we're looking at. One, issues to do with Paralympics. Basically, they can excel in that sector. Issues to do with economic empowerment, and issues to do about their own welfare to ensure that integration back to the society is easy, and they still maintain the same kind of lifestyle that they used to have. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we go to the highlight of the evening. Our models from Skyfall by Christine Omolo are coming up right on stage. And remember, for every purchase you make on this, 10% goes to our wounded soldiers. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Christine Omolo of Skyfall Fashion House.
Konza Technopolis' objective is actually to make a contribution towards Kenya's economy. It will focus on 3 key areas, that is the engineering, ICT and ITS, that's IT-enabled services, and life sciences. And it is aimed at creating a new economic driver for our country, which is called knowledge economy. This is an area that focuses on innovation and technology, and it's quite a new entrant or adds the vibrancy to what's happening in our economy. So this will create opportunities in employment. When this project was conceived, it was projected that within the phase 1, which what we are working on now, which will attract a population of about 30,000, 17,000 will be opportunities in employment for high-skilled labor, and that is what the potential we are looking at to see. As of now, of course, we have our national data center here, which now makes Konza really a digital platform for the country, and now we are going to see more enterprises to come, and through that opportunities will come. And also during development stage, construction like this, we will see opportunities for work. As of now, we have about 1,500 workers currently involved in the construction phase of the Konza Technopolis. We're looking forward as the project grows, more opportunities are created.
My name is Jane Mwangi. I joined Armed Forces in 1971, September. After joining, I went to Britain for 3 months. After that, I came back. I joined the other ladies who joined after me. After 10 years, I was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. And then I went on up to the rank of major. After that 6 years, I retired. What can I say? My health started after 65 years. I had a cancer in my stomach. I was treated, and now I'm not bad. I had a back disc in the Armed Forces. I'm just treated. I have a medical scheme, so I don't have a big problem. Except when you are outpatient, you have to pay 25%. Just now, the other January, I had nerves in my leg, which I fallen down sometimes back when I was in the Armed Forces. But I manage. I just take painkiller, and that's all. So I'm not doing anything, and I cannot do anything because I get tired when I'm not working. I cannot wash myself. When I wear this, sometimes unless I sit down. So I can say, if you manage to program yourself when you are working, is good. Because the children which we are having nowadays, they cannot make to help you. So you must have your own things, and you can do anything. So I like Army for those that 6 years, because the veterans, we are not all equal. There are veterans who went before us, and they were not prepared to be given more. So even now, the ones who have served and they retired, they are sick than me, and they cannot do anything. So it's a good thing to help them in general. That's what I can say. And background, everybody comes from different background. Some, they don't have anything. Even today, even if you get retired, you go home, and there's nothing you can do. You don't have a house, you don't have anything. I got only one son when I was serving. I did have a baby before. I'm very happy to be called Shujaa.
I am retired Lieutenant Colonel David Mukavi, having served in the Air Force. I joined the Air Force in 1969 as a technician. And I trained and got promoted through the ranks up to the rank of Warrant Officer Class 1. I've worked on aircraft physically with my hands. I have trained technicians in classroom. And then I was commissioned in 1980 to the rank of a lieutenant. In our days, it was pride to serve the country. It is not the remuneration. It is not anything else. Serving the country. And that if you went out to serve your country, the country was taking care of it. Being a professional soldier is not impossible, but it's not very easy. Yeah. But above all, it needs one to relate to their creator. And especially retire without knowing how you will honor your God. Rest assured, you will have challenges. You will have challenges. But I repeat, those that are in the military, let them know they have not joined the military because there is a lot of money today. They have come to serve. If that is not the case, then don't join the military, because soon you'll be involved with the ugly things. The community respected me, but it is two-way. There is nobody that I ever told nitakanyaga na boot. Okay? I respected people. I worked with the community to put up churches, to put up water wells, to have roads done. I would use my experience to facilitate, to enter some government offices. I helped teachers and those in provincial administration those days, the interior today, to make it easier for them to get their pension before they died. For some people, it was very hard. As a lieutenant, I know I would go to the bank in uniform during the day. And people in the queue would say, no, let him be served to go back to defend us. That was the respect then. Today, you have people in uniform involved in ugly crime. The government has put in so much. The money that the government has spent to train me, and today not to use even a fraction of what I have. It's a shame.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Erastus Kenywa. I retired in 2007 from the Air Force, having worked there for 30 years. An officer in the military is not only trained on this line of core duty. For example, like mine was navigation. You also do other training in other areas like leadership, command, and management, because it's very crucial. Because as an officer, your main business actually is not flying or is not even technical, is dealing with the people. When I retired, some of the challenges that I found is that out there people do not know. Say, for example, if I say that I'm Lieutenant Colonel, it doesn't make sense to them. Or you say you are general, or you say you are corporal. They do not understand the difference. Even if you produce your living certificate, if I may call it a living certificate, they don't understand it. Even if you say that you have done a staff college, they don't understand what you are saying. Even if you say you are navigator or pilot, they do not understand. So actually, that paper ends up being almost useless because they cannot be able to relate it. I remember even some occasions the governors themselves cannot be able to relate, because you find even if you are a driver in the service, you cannot use that license outside there. Even if you are a pilot in the military, you cannot use it out there. So actually, you are almost like useless. Even if you are an engineer in there and you have been operating the military, they may not be recognized out there. So what we are saying, actually, whatever you had inside there, you leave it there. When you go there, actually in a strange world. And those people, they do not know how to relate with you. Being a soldier, I would say one is that most of the things are done for you in terms of welfare, in terms of your family. You are catered for those days. You are catered for transport. It was catered for clothing. In terms of uniform. In fact, you realize that time even to get a suit might have been difficult because most of the times we were in uniform. I would say when you are in there, things look a bit cool. But the moment you leave the gates, because now you have to look for your own accommodation, you have to look for your own clothing, you have to relate to yourself. You find the life becomes very difficult. And that's where the danger is. Because you have been, sometimes you could even stay in the service for even 5 years without going on leave. You could be even in a mission and then you come back and then you go back again, like the ones who are in Somalia now, and for 5 years you may not go. So actually when you go there, you are a stranger even to your own people. So you require like some kind of orientation so that they can know who you are. Some of them, they would want to ignore you because they think that you have ignored them. So that's one of the main challenges that I found on leaving. You don't know where to relate. And first of all, you don't know how low you want to go. Because to them, they think that you are here. But they don't know that you have already been driven down there. You don't even know where to start. Even when you have a problem, you don't know who to report to. Even if you report to a governor or OCPD, he doesn't know who you are. He does not even know your equivalent of rank. Life changes completely. Sometimes you may cope, you may not. Some of them, about 10% don't cope. It becomes very difficult for you to survive. And you find yourself going to drugs or joining the other side of the road, others joining Al-Shabaab and all that. And we have examples.
My name is Asfond Miri Chindobi. I joined the Armed Forces Navy 1974. I was posted in the Navy where I was categorized as seaman. I also did gunnery, and gunnery is essential in the Navy because you deal with the discipline and parents. There's no discipline without parents. I forgot to say that 1978, when I was a senior private is equivalent of a corporal in the army, I was sent to AFTC to train recruits. The first recruits to be graduated by President Moi, I was their trainer. 1997, I was appointed the first Navy Sergeant Major, or Navy Master Terms for that matter, and posted to the naval headquarters to be an advisor to the commander, Navy commander, in matters pertaining to discipline and morale. After that, of course, I retired. I'm at home doing normal things, but ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you it is so challenging. From active service to doing nothing. Even the chief cannot recognize you, right? It's so challenging. Then the most challenging being when you're outside there is when you get a problem. The people outside there does not recognize you because they say you belong to KDF. Of course, for that time you have not been with them, so they cannot recognize you at all. So you deal with your problem single-handedly.
My name is Francis Musumbu. I'm a retired Lieutenant Colonel from Kenya Army. I joined the military in 1979 and left the military in 2007 after serving for 29 years. I trained as an officer and I was commissioned in 1979 and posted to Kenya Army Armored Corps, where I served for quite some time. During my service in the military, I was privileged to have been seconded and worked in the UN in peacekeeping missions. The major challenge I faced when I left the military was the transition. The transition from military to civilian life was not very predictable. I was not sure what I was supposed to go and do, but I was prepared to to go to employment. That's why I prepared myself and did some courses. I done some courses in the military, and that has helped me transit from military to civilian life. I think this is very well thought of, and it's very important, and it's a very good cause, because you have very many veterans from the KDF who needs your support. More so, those veterans who are not well prepared in the transition from military to civilian life, and there are those who have injuries. The veterans need a lot of support. They also need to network so that they can survive in this harsh environment, the civilian life. Normally, you find that people in the military, in the current system, they are not really well prepared. The transition is not very well prepared, so people find it a bit challenging. And your support has come out at the right time. Thank you. The initiative has come out at the right time because, one, you'll be able to address the challenges we are facing as veterans. One of the challenges we are facing is on medical. The other challenge we are fighting is to find space in the civilian world, because most of us are not well versed in business, because that is where people want to transit into. And since you have spent most of your time in the field, the military, we are not well prepared. So I think it will help me to network and find out what I can do besides what I'm doing now. What experience I went through is that it is very difficult to make friends outside the system in the civilian world. You find yourself thrown in an environment whereby it is very difficult to start acquiring new friends.
My name is Mike Kariuki. I was born in Nakuru in 1960. I joined the army immediately after 6th form in 1981. And after my training, I served in various places. My last unit of service was in Signal Battalion. Later on, I resigned in 2005 because I got a better opportunity elsewhere. The biggest thing that I learned in the military is leadership and management, and that is what I use up to today. I don't think that what I learned in the military is anything I would have learned in the university. And to date, I still consider the military as the best employer. A military person is a person who is basically has everything that they need when you're serving. You'll never struggle to look for anything. If it is medical, it is within the camp. If it is salary, you're getting it regularly without any delay. Shopping, you have your own shops within the military itself. So basically you have everything that you need, including the housing. And even those houses are also furnished. So it's not that you walk out of the military barracks to go and look for a couch, to look for a bed, or even a cup of tea. No, you have basically everything provided for you. The challenges that you face when you come out are many. They can actually put you down if you come out not prepared with the mindset of what you really want to do outside and what is going to make you actually survive, almost close to how you are surviving when you're serving, because those are very high standards. If it is medical, you must look for an insurance company now to be providing you with that cover. If you want to actually continue enjoying the same level of medical services that you're enjoying when you're serving. The barriers to sufficient and good medical health care is a huge challenge to many of us who have left. What else? As you serve, you acquire with time certain values, certain ethics, certain ideals that are not in consonance with what you find out. So that is one of the challenges that makes you not be able to integrate. When you compare a military person and a civilian person, a military person is brought up in a standard way of doing things, a standard way of thinking, because of course you're taken through the process, a standard way of associating with your colleagues. What about outside? It's almost a free for all. You create your own standards, which may very well be different from the standards of your other friend or closest person. Here is a situation where you're coming from a straitjacket kind of thing to a free-for-all kind of thing. It makes life very difficult, very, very difficult. You know, retirees for the longest time, and indeed even for now that we are talking about it, don't have a voice. They have never had a voice to represent them or to present their issues to any agency or government department. And I think when we have a body like this, which is so interested and focused in trying to do things that will empower those who have resigned, have issues and problems and challenges, it's a major thing. It's a major achievement for me. Yes. I think it's a question of us coming together and you getting to understand my needs. Because out there, nobody has any data about the needs of the veterans. Nobody at all. No research has been done. So there's nobody who understands the needs that the veterans have when they're out there. And if we can come together, having a forum like this, a platform like this, where you really want to understand what makes me be who I am.
Hi, my name is Jackie Njenga, Chairperson, League of Persons with Special Abilities, or rather what we call LPSA in short. We are an organization that primarily looks into empowerment of persons with disabilities, veterans, and the vulnerable in society. We were born of the need to complement what the government in Kenya does for these marginalized groups by trying to be more on the ground and bridging the gaps that they are not able to get to. So we work hand in hand with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the Kenya Society for the Blind, and other partners who will always get us to the fore of making sure that we basically do what is our mutual benefit and our mutual mandate. Now, with the Veterans Program, it has been long in being put together because of the necessary secrecy that we have with the military in Kenya. And we felt that it was time, especially for our wounded veterans, the fact that there was not enough information and awareness for them that once they left the military and became civilians, they could have people or organizations that could take them to the next level of their lives. Meaning that, especially with the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, once you get registered with them, they are able to have benefits such as tax exemption. They're able to get assistive devices given to them. They are able to get economic empowerment programs, which, as much as they're not enough, that is where LPSA comes in, and we try to fundamentally bring people together, coordinate this information, get to the ground, and also implement these particular empowerment programs. We also realized that there was a gap in the fact that with our veterans, there was very little veteran-to-veteran support, meaning that we may not understand who they are, especially when we are civilians ourselves and what they've gone through. So we are bringing veterans from the three arms of the armed forces, the Kenya Army, the Kenya Air Force, and the Kenya Navy, to come in and support the veterans who've left, who've retired, people who can understand them, people they can talk to. So we try and facilitate for this to happen. We also facilitate for them to get registered into a national database that gives us ease of catching up with them, and also getting services to them, especially on the grounds. We take a look at the wounded veteran. Life has changed. There is dignity of the human being a soldier, being probably maimed. We We work primarily to find services that can help them achieve a new lease in life. Counseling, we try and see to their medical attention through the National Social Insurance Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. We are also trying to see how to refurbish their homes, their living conditions, their environments, because you do realize a lot changes when one becomes injured, especially permanently. You are either using an assistive device like a wheelchair or a crutch, a white cane if you go blind. All this needs reorientation. So we do what we call rehabilitation of their lives, and also considering the family. A wife, children have been thrown into a very different state of life from what they were used to. So we try and come in and coordinate or facilitate for the different support systems to come in and to assist the wounded veteran. In our association with the Fashion for Fighters, we came together in partnership because of the clear understanding of being on the same page of what to do with wounded veterans. There is not much that we can do as single voices. And the power that we have in us to make and create change is only if we come together. So again, the partnership, it's positive energy. We look forward to doing as much as we can above and beyond to complement the government in its endeavors with the veterans, and see how to further create these veterans into valuable members of society post their active service to the country.
Thank you again, Major, on behalf of Fashion Fighters, FFF. We are pleased to give our donation now to LPSA, and we're grateful to partner with you even as we move in this venture, even as the years come by. Thank you so much.
And now, I welcome the Director of LPSA, Major Muraya.
Yeah, as I have been introduced, I'm Major Muraya Lewis. I'm the Director of Veteran Affairs with the League of Persons with Special Abilities. I'm so happy to be here as we do this event. The League of Persons with Special Abilities has a veteran program, which I direct, and we have been looking for partners, such as the Fashion for Fighters, and we are lucky enough to find a very nice organization that is caring, as we do, about the issues of veterans, their families, and those with special abilities. So I'm delighted and thrilled to be here.
And now, I'd like to invite on stage Nicole Maina, the Executive Assistant to Fashion for Fighters Kenya, to give us a vote of thanks.
I'd like to thank you all for attending our event for Fashion for Fighters Kenya, to our founder president, Commander Chris Decker, to Major Suba, Ministry of Defense Kenya, to all entire veterans for embracing our foundation. To our sponsors, we could not have done this without you: Citizen TV, Hot 96, Planet Management Group, Fashion for Fighters USA, and Konza. Thank you all for supporting us, to all the individuals for your great donation. To continue supporting us, the details are running down the screen. Once again, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show, and I'd like to pass my sincere gratitude to you for having and following through this to the end of it. I'd also wish to thank our veterans for choosing to share their stories with us and for their great sacrifice to this country. I'd also want to thank our sponsors, organizers, and everyone who took part to make this happen. You guys are our Shujaas. Please continue donating on the details shown below and help us support our forces. Thank you and good night.